The benchmark for durability and stability, now with even more comfort. This is the Adidas Barricade 13. New to this 13th edition of the Barricade is the Repetitor midsole technology, featuring a dual density foam that delivers improved comfort and shock absorption while maintaining a responsive feel underfoot. The upper material features added mesh, a more padded tongue, and Geofit pods in the heel, all designed to improve comfort, while the added mesh also adds to the breathability. Like previous iterations, the tried and true Torsion System carries on the Barricade-like stability that this line is known for, while the Adiwear rubber compound is formed into a modified herringbone pattern for loads of grip and durability. Lastly, the Adituff Recycled material is placed on the medial side of the toe box for those players who slide and drag on the hardcourts. From my very first time putting this shoe on, I noticed right away the improvement in the what we call the step-in comfort. The upper of the shoe definitely has more mesh to it, as well as the tongue being mostly mesh, and it has a nice padded feel to the tongue, as well as the padding in the heel with these pods. Really like that improvement in comfort. I will say most generations of previous Barricades are just too stiff for me. I tend to like a good supportive, stable shoe, but I like the comfort aspect more than anything. So I really did appreciate that from this Barricade 13.0, so to speak. As far as the underfoot cushioning, the new Repetitor, really plush and nice padded in the heel. Did appreciate that. For me though, being a little picky, I wish they would have just put a little bit of that soft kind of foam feel under the forefoot. It wasn't that the cushioning in the forefoot was bad, but for me, I like a really plush ride. So I'd say that was one thing that I had to knock on this. Also, I know not too many of you guys out there wear no-show socks, but for this play test, I had to switch to Cruise because the back of the shoe was kind of grabbing my socks and kind of eating them. So I definitely went with a Cruise sock on that, which also I think enhanced the comfort. But overall, as far as the comfort aspect goes and support, stability, and traction, this update's pretty solid.
I've always been a big fan of the Barricade, so I was super excited to test this 13th iteration, and compared to the one that's outgoing, found a slightly roomier fit here, faster break-in. Definitely the uppers are nice and soft. There's a lot of mesh right there in the vamp, and I could definitely feel that on the flexing of the toe off when I first put them on. I also noticed I felt a little bit more elevated in the heel, not quite as low down and as close to the ground as I was in the previous version. There's a lot more padding around the ankle collar as well. So overall, I thought comfort was a nice improvement, but I wasn't feeling as low down, wasn't feeling quite as fast and secure as I was in the outgoing version. Still plenty of support for me though, and a fun play test. I did get a little bit of premature wear on the left shoe, right up at the toe. I dragged that toe there, and so the mesh is not as durable as the material on the previous shoe, but as far as like traction and everything else concerned, outsole durability, it was all Barricade and a good time for me.
These new Barricades feature a subtle update in my opinion. Now first is with the sizing. I had to go up to size 10.5, which is a half size up for me. I think partly due to the thicker pads in the heel, which made the shoe more plush and comfortable, but also messed with the sizing a little bit. But speaking of plush, I really like that the tongue is now a little bit thicker. So when I cinched down my laces, I wasn't getting into that pressure point on the top of my foot. I also thought the cushioning was really nice and actually more cushioned, which made for just walking around in these shoes more comfortable. I also felt like the break-in was very minimal if it needed at all. On court, I did have issues with some of the performance aspects. One of which was the heel slippage. Even when I had my laces cinched up tight, I was still able to kind of slip my foot out of the shoe without undoing the laces. And because I wasn't able to get a locked in fit, I was getting a little bit of toe jamming. As for the traction, I felt like these shoes were a little bit more sticky than the previous version. With that previous version, I was able to slide out of my shots fairly easy, and I wasn't able to really do that in this pair. Overall, this was a more comfortable Barricade, but I didn't love it for aggressive movements.
I believe I've worn through just about every iteration of the Adidas Barricade since the second version. I really enjoyed this shoe. Unlike some of the other play testers, this one did require a little bit more break-in time for me, but overall the stability I would say the support of the upper's still there, but the breathability is improved. I definitely felt the traction was stellar. Just overall, it dots most of the I's and crosses all the T's that I need out of a shoe. So just overall, an outstanding all-court tennis shoe. The modified herringbone outsole is definitely something that works great on a hard court. I did not have a chance to play on a clay court, but I would imagine this to be pretty good on just about any court surface with the exception of grass. Overall, just a great play test shoe.
That wraps up our review of the 13th edition of the Adidas Barricade. For more information on these shoes or anything tennis related, be sure to head to Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.